Americans have been feeling pretty upbeat filling up their tanks lately, thanks to lower oil prices and cheaper gas.
Oh yeah, I love it. I love it. I have to pay as much, you know. I put $30 it pretty much fills it up. As opposed to putting, when it was high, I was putting like 15, 60 bucks in it.
Prices have been falling for 2 years now, and at an average of about $2.20 a gallon, it's a far cry from the record $4 a gallon during the 2008 recession. And U.S. motorists are making the most of it.
Those low prices have really driven a huge increase in consumption in the U.S. compared to what we would have expected. And in fact, gasoline demand in the U.S. this year is right on pace to be the highest in history.
For people like Gail Lanford driving her kids from Ohio to spend a week with her parents in Minnesota, lower gas is welcome news.
Certainly this trip probably wouldn't have happened if gas prices were higher. So probably more traveling, maybe doing a few more fun things, a few road trips.
About a quarter of all gas stations in the United States right now are selling gasoline for less than $2 per gallon, which is something consumers haven't seen during the summer in more than a decade. But while cheap gas is good for commuters and vacationers, experts say it's bad news for the planet. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency says driving is responsible for more than 16% of the U.S. greenhouse gas emissions. But having to pay less at the pump, Americans have returned to driving and buying bigger cars.
Kind of turn around, that people said, well, I don't need this small car anymore. I really want a bigger car, and I want an SUV.
The U.S. government says Americans saved $700 on gas per household last year. Normally, economists expect that to be good news for the economy as consumers drive more and spend more.
It's a slightly more complicated picture this time around.
The U.S. shale oil boom led to tremendous production of domestic oil and gas, but as global oil prices dropped, the industry took a hit.
There's been a lot of people that have been laid off, tens of thousands, if not more, and the amount of capital that the industry is investing in the U.S. economy in particular took a more than $100 billion hit.
Ori says as an economy, the U.S. is still better off with lower oil and gasoline prices. But as the country becomes more of an oil producer and not just an oil consumer, there may come a day cheaper gas will not be a reason to celebrate. Roza, Kazan, CCTV is Chicago, Indiana.